Alright y'all, what's going on? Tech Me out here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my iPhone 17 Pro Max setup. From my accessories, to my settings, to the wallpaper, my apps, you know, all of the good stuff. Firstly, we gotta talk about the color. So I went with the orange, and I do not regret my decision at all. I love it. It's more like a copper orange in person, and honestly, up until today, I was rocking this without a case, and recently unboxed this one here from Beats. And I am in love with it to the point that I might keep it up here for a little bit. But outside of that, when I'm not using this case, I am enjoying like the natural color of the phone. But this is a beautiful combo when I do use one. And also on this case, it has this wrist strap. If you take a look there, you'll see that there's an opening, and that's pretty much where the phone sits inside so that it then converts into a stand as well. But I love that, and I think it goes well with the wallpaper choice in terms of the color of this case and the color of my wallpaper. Now, I did debate between this and the iPhone Air in terms of which one to get, because I just love the design and the feel of the iPhone Air. It's so thin, and on top of that, it has, you know, the beautiful finish and just overall a gorgeous device that, you know, has a very kind of like new feeling in hand, because I think we're all fairly familiar, even though this design is different. I think we can all say we're very familiar with the iPhone look here. So the iPhone Air makes it feel like an even newer phone because it has a newer design, you know? So that was really pulling me. So I was leaning on trying to use that, but the camera, man, I gotta have the camera that's on the Pro. I need the ultra wide for one, most importantly, and the zoom. I like the new zoom up here, so I wanna take advantage of that. But if the iPhone Air had that, yeah, I might have been on it. But all in all, so far so good with the choice here. So depending on when this video drops, I should have a video where I, you know, flesh out more of my thoughts about it. I'll link it up in one of these corners or down below in the description box when it is live. All right, now let's get into my phone setup. And I really think the wallpaper on my lock screen is what sealed the deal, because the case here just, it adds such a nice touch to it when you look at the blue on the blue here. It was not intentional, totally, you know, by circumstance. And it's one of the things that kind of sold me on keeping the case up here. And that's the way it looks with the lock screen. But all in all, my lock screen here, I got the wallpaper. Dang, where did I get this wallpaper from? I think I got the wallpaper from Pinterest. Either way, what I will do for you is make sure that I link it so that, you know, you can have it as well. But I liked this particular wallpaper because of the way it drew, you know, slight attention to certain things of the phone, like the carrier and the power button and volume button. It just added these nice little accents to those things. But I do have some other wallpapers set up here, which is one of the things that I kind of like, don't love, but definitely get annoyed by, and that's the way that you have to set up wallpapers. I miss the way that we used to do it, where you could just tap choose wallpaper, choose your lock screen and be done, or tap it and, you know, choose your home screen. So that's annoying for me. But yeah, outside of that, it is nice to kind of have these little pairs, you know, in terms of your home screen and your lock screen already set, so that if you want a certain look, it's just a matter of swiping through them, similar to how it is on the Apple Watch. But that's my lock screen all in all. I have my flashlight in the bottom right, so I have quick access to that. And then my camera app in the bottom left. I don't think I have anything customized currently to my, what is this? The camera control button. I don't use it much. I found for me, I turn off a lot of things, but these are the current settings I'll throw on screen for you so you can see what I currently have things set as there. For a while, I was excited until I actually tried to use it and realized it just wasn't practical. I was accidentally changing lenses, especially if I'm trying to shoot ultra wide, and then I go back and look and I see that my finger slipped and somehow zoomed in. that would be annoying. So I just kind of have a lot of the features of it turned off instead of it, really doing anything when I'm in the camera app. Now taking it to this home screen here. This, I got the wallpaper from Pinterest, I want to say as well. I'll link it below. But I just wanted something kind of simple and not too distracting. And I have found that with certain colors, especially for apps that I'm very familiar with, I'm just naturally drawn to them when I'm unlocking my phone, whether I need to be in that app or not. So I have added, this kind of tinted look, which kind of makes everything look one and the same, and things less enticing, when I need to be focusing. So at the top, what I have is my widget app that's going to show me the time there. And then beneath it, I have quick access to a few apps like my monitor and control app, which is what I use with my Sony camera here. So that when I'm filming with my Sony camera, I can just go in there and monitor what I'm looking at, which is super helpful with eliminating the guesswork that I normally place on myself. Because I know I personally hate sitting at the computer after filming all day and seeing certain shots that I was excited about not looking the way that I thought they should. And it's because I didn't use the monitor and control app. But moving to the right of that, I have my DJI app, so that lets me preview what's on my DJI Pocket 3. I use that a lot as well so that I can get very unique shots or pans as I'm filming and sitting away from the camera. So this is super helpful, especially if you have any DJI camera products. If you aren't using the app, especially if you have the Pocket 3, I highly suggest you do. But moving to the right of that, we have my smart lock, my settings, and then on the second row, we have YouTube Studio and Notion. If you're not familiar with Notion, that is the app that I use to run my business. It has a lot of database entry type systems. So basically you can create a page that has a subpage and a subpage and a subpage inside of that. And it has, lots of tables, and it just makes organizing things for my personal and my work life kind of centralized and a little bit easier. It is easy as well to get caught up into the design aspect of it, which is my guilty pleasure. But all in all, I just love using it. I do still use my notes app sometimes to quickly dump my thoughts because I just find that it's easier for that. But when it comes to organizing things and figuring out my content schedule or communicating with my editor, just recording or working on my podcast, all of that is stored inside of my Notion app. Notion also works on my computer and Windows devices, so I love the fact that it's cross-platform. But the one thing I do not like about it is the mobile experience. It is not the greatest, so it's just not as fluid as it is on the computer. It's a little clunky, but it is what it is in that case. Next to my Notion app, I have Fantastical, and that is what I use to pretty much save all of my different events and trips and things that are going on in my life. If it is not on my calendar, I am in trouble. It's that type of dependency on it. But I've been using Fantastical for years. If you have been watching my channel, if you've been watching these videos, I've been locked in with it for some time now. And it's for a good reason. It works on my phone and my computer as well. It allows me to see my reminders within my calendar. I can set different colors for my calendars and have different views that are very useful for me to get a glance of what I need. So the one that I typically keep it on is the monthly view, so that I have the month view at the top and then the events down at the bottom. And when you take a look at the days in the month view, you can see the dots that are related to each calendar. So the colors of these dots serve as significance for me because I have certain colors for certain things. Like my medical calendar is a certain color and my personal calendar is a certain color. My work calendar is, red, things like that. So I can look at a glance to know, oh, I got this many work related or personal related things on the said day. But it also allows me to get the weather in here for each day and just so much more. You can even filter your view for your calendars, so I can select so that I see only my personal related calendars or my work related calendars. You ultimately have the most control I've seen in a calendar app with getting what you need when you need it. But nonetheless, that is what I use for that. And then for navigation, I use Google Maps. I've been using that for years. And then beneath that, I have my camera apps. I have Final Cut Camera and the default camera app. And then at the very bottom, I have Photos, Safari, and a folder for my messages or my, messaging-like apps that I like having them all in this one space, so I get a badge number for all of the new things versus seeing individual app badges. All right, but let's see, outside of that though, if I swipe over to, the right here and I pull up my widgets, I do use this area occasionally. This is where I have my reminders widget at the top. I also like this app called Gentler, which lets me know when I'm doing too much, in essence, because I'll start, working out sometimes after taking an unintentional break, and I go too hard, and I don't want to injure myself, and I want to make sure I have balance in my workouts. So this has helped me a lot to make sure that I'm in a state to work out, or if I need to prioritize rest that day. It also gives me my sleep analytics and other useful information, so I highly recommend that. Under that, I then have my music stations. So I got Apple Music and Spotify. Those are the two that I use. If you want to follow me on Spotify, I will link it down below and throw my code somewhere up in here so you can get that. I do use both for now. And then moving down beneath that, I just have some other widgets that are useful to access, but truthfully, I forget that they're there. I don't typically scroll down even though they are in that area. And then when we swipe over to my second page, I was very intentional with the apps that I placed here. They're pretty much all of my social media apps. So I have TikTok Studio, YouTube Studio, Threads, Instagram, and then the TikTok app. So this allows me to kind of check on things, and right now it's just like my social media page. So having these here just makes it easy to access them, because normally I'll be hitting Spotlight and I'd have to search for each of them individually. But having them all here together makes it a bit easier. And I don't know, I might even add some more work-related apps to this area, but for now, this is what I have. But yeah, all in all, I really like the way that I've set things up so far. It's not as crazy in detail with widgets and all that stuff that I've done in the past, but I just kind of wanted to keep things simple and in a way that makes it easy for me to get to what I need. I'm also a heavy user of focus modes. If you have not played with those, I'm telling you, you got to. I even have a video on how I set mine up. So if you're curious, I will link it in one of the corners and down below as well. Cause yeah, that helps me maintain my peace, cause I'm in a focus mode like 95% of the time. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna have everything that I mentioned within it down below again in the comment section. And if you want to stay updated on what's going on and when another video is dropping, you can always check me out on Instagram at techmeout. That's TECHME0UT. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.